Trump is not the first 21st century president to be hounded out of office by the press. In recent days, there have been observations that Trump could be the first president to be hounded out of office by the press. Truth is that Germany had a similar and successful attempt by the press only a few years ago. The behavior of the press against President Trump and his family seems sinisterly close. The German newspaper Bild ran a campaign that subsequently caused the resignation of the German President Wolf in 2011-2012. Accusations of questionable financial gains were propagated in the press. All allegations were shown to be without founding, but only after he and his family were subjected to further very personal attacks and he was forced to resign. His wife was accused of being a prostitute. His political associations and holidays were debated in chat shows. The news on main channels dealt with his anger at the press as a story of President Wolf trying to suppress the freedom of the press. Clearly, with hindsight and with subsequent judicial review, we now know he was simply protecting his reputation and had every right to do so. Parallel to publications from the press, stand-up comedy and satire programs were relentless in making him and his political service appear driven exclusively by self-interest and personal profit. His morality and that of his wife were judged harshly and presented as if fact, whilst using joke and humour to avoid libel and slander. This had the effect of removing any genuine possibility for him to continue the job with any sense of dignity. All these character-destructive acts were clearly vindictive and a dangerous process of character assassination, which we now know to be false because they were made without evidence that stood up in court. It seemed more presented as fact rather than suspicion, based simply on the anger that he had expressed to the press. His anger being used to justify that there must be proof because of this behaviour. His resignation was of benefit to the German state, insofar as the dignity of the state and the public office were no longer at risk. But it was, however, not beneficial to the German people, as it undermined the process of German democracy and established the press as the ultimate political power. Whilst this goes some way to show what the press can do if they reject the moral and ethical aspects of their profession, the similarities should also be a wake-up call to anyone valuing democracy. Not only because this example substantiates the mere possibility that President Trump is correct with his fake news claims, but also that the rest of the world should be cautious in judging President Trump and the American state as weak and without teeth. Certainly the US President should ask his political advisors to get the history on former German President Wolf so as to learn from Wolf's mistakes and avoid having to suffer a similarly personally harrowing and undemocratic outcome.